So thank you for joining us today. We're really excited to share some information about the Women in Design Award of Excellence. This is the second year that we've done this informational session. It's been great for us to hear what some of the feedback is from both people nominating and nominees over the years, so that we can try to perfect this this process and make it both, rewarding for everyone putting together the application and as easy as possible to understand, and also easy as possible for the jurors to be able to really evaluate all of the different submissions that come in. So I think we all have that common goal of streamlining and creating a process that's equitable and really kind of something that everyone can look forward to doing at the same time. So we're really thrilled that you're interested in the award process. My name is Felice Silverman, Janelle D'Angelo here. We've both been co-chairs you've been here for 5, 6 years now. I think I'm on the 9th year. So we've been intimate with this process for a while, and we've done a lot to try to evolve it over the years. So this is now the 22nd year of the award, maybe 23rd coming on, my goodness. So wow. Yeah, and it's gone through a lot of evolution, and a lot of that again has to do with sort of what I just described about sort of streamlining and equitability for it. So we're going to share today, we thought we'd run through the actual presentation of the ceremony, if you will, just kind of some of the topics there to give a high level understanding of what the award is about, which you're probably pretty familiar with, but it's worth getting into a little bit the premise of it. So unlike other, and also you can kind of see, if you haven't, I don't know if you've been able to attend any of the either in-person or virtual award ceremonies that we've had over the last couple of years, just to kind of see what the outcome is when someone is presented with this prestigious award. So we'll and we kind of go through this in the ceremony as well, but we'll do an overview of the awards and kind of the purpose and the criteria. Obviously it's sponsored and it's supported heavily through the entire BSA organization. Just in terms of how it's presented, it used to be at maybe X in person as a big lunch. The last 2 years obviously were not. They were done virtually, I think pretty successfully. So we're still going to see what comes of this year in terms of how it's presented and what the venue is, and that's to become. But however, it will still be a celebration one way or the other. And Janelle and I do as much as we can to create as much of a celebration in person for at least the awardees, and you'll see some about that as well. So why don't we go down to the awards and purpose criteria? Yeah, so this I think is the main thing to understand about this award is it's really unlike any other, I think, award that is out there in the community, where we do so many awards to celebrate design excellence, which is important, for no doubt, and that is one criteria of this award. But as you can see from these 4 criteria, what this award really celebrates is a woman's entire career, right? Not only their accomplishments, which is huge, but their process, which we call as the long and winding road. What was that journey to through life, through the career that led to the where they are now and their product, if you will, and then kind of equally, if not more important, is how has that person used their career and their accomplishments to give back or to extend to that outside community beyond their own personal accomplishments. And I think that's really where this award is different from the others. And we're really looking for that story of a person, that story of their journey and how their impact has been felt by others. Janelle, do you want to jump in there with any color to that?
No, I think you covered it beautifully. I'm moving to this because I think it shows that legacy you mentioned earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see this is the this graphic, this beautiful photograph keeps getting longer and longer. It's and it's just amazing every time I look at this this, you know, this college of amazing women. Gail, you know, being one of them. We were honored to honor her. One of the first years I was involved. Um, and yeah, you can see that, you know, every year there's typically been 3 awardees per year. There were a couple of years prior, actually one where I was involved too, where there were only 2. There's not a minimum or a maximum on this. Well, I should say there's probably a maximum of 3. Is that, I guess, I don't know if that's official or not. We've never gone beyond 3, but the jury does have the ability to award fewer depending on, you know, their discretion. So yes. And then yeah, so do you want to, let's jump to this. So the jury is made up of now 6 people, and 3 of the jurors are, we invite the immediate past winners of the award. So the 3 past winners will be 3 out of the 6. And then we carry over 2 jurors from the prior year so that there's some continuity in the jury process. And, you know, that gives that just, you know, fluidity of process. We're not starting from scratch, but we only allow people this time at this point to be a juror for 2 years. So we don't, I'll admit that in the past, there was a little bit more of the same jury kind of reviewing every year. And, you know, and that gets to a point where, you know, you just want to have a fresh jury every year, right? One of the things, and we still haven't established this year's jury yet, but one kind of new addition initiative that we've been doing is to invite someone, I'll say on the younger side. So someone with a, you
emerging talent.
Emerging talent is the word we're looking for. Yes, emerging. So, and that brings another perspective into the discussion as well. So,
and it allows that person to have a window, you know, and see that potential for themselves and their peers.
Yeah, it's a really great opportunity, and the people that we've had in that role have really been shining. It's been such an amazing conversation. That jury day, you know, basically they're given a couple of weeks to review the submissions, and then every single submission is considered on jury day. No one is, you know, there's not a scoring process that shortlists and rules out. We don't do it that way. Every single one is considered and discussed. So it's a phenomenal conversation. It really is. Janelle and I are not jurors. We manage the process, and we do not act as jurors in this. So, yeah. All right, you want to talk nomination form?
Sure. So
any questions up to now? Please just jump in whenever.
Yes, just jump
like
in.
Anything questions?
Okay.
Yeah. In the past, the nomination form was very simple, just a 1-pager, but it was really hard for the jury to compare apples to apples because there was no format. So we could receive a nomination package of 80 pages, and we had, and you know, it ranged from everything. So it really made for a very long jury day, as they were trying to parcel through that noise. So we created a simple kind of 3-section approach, which is closely mirrors if you're familiar with the FAIA process, for instance, it closely mirrors that. And it looks to brief statements, areas of impact, and of course, in that first section, we want to know work history, licensure, education, those basic things, nomination letters for support. The second section is really a curriculum vitae. So if someone has been keeping their resume up to, you know, to date, it shouldn't be a huge lift, or at least that's something that the nominee can be doing now. Then the exhibits are really examples. In terms of support material, in addition to the letter of support from the nominator, we expect 3 letters of recommendation, basic contact information, and a photograph that we actually use for announcement and all of that. I will briefly open the submission. So this is the 1-pager, and it's already uploaded in the website and available. So this is a simple first pager. We already put here a note that, you know, due to COVID, we hope it's in person, but if not, we have already done 2 years online, so we can do it effectively. Then it just walks you through these 3 sections.
Janelle, are you sharing the nomination form now? Because I think I'm still seeing
PowerPoint. You're still seeing that? Sorry, yes. So share. Thank you for alerting me to that. Do you see it now?
Yes.
Yes.
Now,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Thank
So
you.
this you already saw in the PowerPoint. It's just the first page with the disclosure that we hope to do it in person. And then the difference between the black and the red is really examples. We crafted the examples to be very transparent about what we are looking for. These are not real people. We made them up. Though we did have a Margaret nominated and who won last year. But the idea is that there will be some strategic thinking on the part of the nominator and nominee, and the nominator and nominee work together. This is not a surprise award. The person needs to be in it because you know your story best, right? So, and I think what's good about the examples is that it will show you the kind of information that we're looking for. It gives you a maximum of 200 words. You don't have to use it all, but it helps with the guidance. So that is all available. I think most importantly is this section on tips. And these tips have been compiled over the years after feedback from jurors. So brevity is encouraged. It's okay to bold certain words, sentences, make it large. It brings hierarchy. So when a juror is looking through the material, as anything you do, right? You do a first pass to get acquainted with the material. You do a second pass, get a little bit deeper. Then the third pass, you're really reading paragraphs. So if there is some hierarchy to help the juror do those kind of layers of information, it's really helpful. Visual digestibility. So in the past, some of the nominations were so packed with material, it was impenetrable graphically for your eye to read, to have white space and pause. So we really want to encourage that. The content of the focus, the examples in the written red text will kind of speak for themselves. And something important is that when you're listing articles, presentations, I think it's important to differentiate between something you have authored and something that was written about your work. Because oftentimes it's misleading, and then we start looking and it's not, a transparent view of that. And then the projects, and when we show you the example, the projects, speak for themselves. In those layouts, people can have a lot of liberty about how they might show the work. And something that is very compelling for the jurors is to see photographs of the nominee in action, presented at this place, is acknowledging, an audience. If there was any social causes, someone had a picture with Girl Scouts at one point, anything like that is just helpful. So that's really it. I will pause there if you have any questions. And you can always email us. Our emails are in the website. If you're, reading through this and you have, and even if it's a nuanced question, just reach out.
Is there a limit to the number of pages you have, or a suggested number, or how does that work exactly?
Yes, so the total number of pages is 40.
Oh, okay.
Here it says, please provide the 8.5 by 11 digital format. You choose whether vertical or horizontal. I don't think we need to rule that or regulate that. And then 40 pages maximum.
Okay.
Do you find that 40 pages is needed? That feels like a lot.
It
for
feels
the-
like a lot. We will share an example and you'll see how that was laid out. It's okay if you have 33, 34, it's just a maximum number.
Sure, sure.
Okay.
I mean, I've certainly, I love to see an example. Yeah.
Yeah, and in some instances, if someone felt that, okay, I have extra pages, they will just blow up a picture full bleed. And then it's a good break through the proposal to,
Oh, yeah.
through
Yeah.
the nomination to all of a sudden see a big picture and get your eyes into that. So
Yeah, because that's inclusive of attachments like reference letters and everything, right? Or no? Do we list that separately?
yeah, those are listed separately.
Okay, all right, so letters are separate.
Yes.
Oh,
So the support material is the 3 letters. The contact information, which is, if there is a person who nominated, but also someone in a marketing department or something like that, that we need to have that, everything should be there. And then the 4x4 headshot, high resolution ideal with the name of the photographer, even if it's a family member who took the photo. We are always asked to acknowledge, so better to have it.
Always, definitely.
Mhm.
So it's 40 pages excluding the support material. And is that 40 pages? Is that a double-sided 20 actual physical page? I guess it's not, it's a digital submission. So I guess that question is irrelevant. So never
Yeah.
mind. I take it back.
When we show you the example, we'll check that, but I feel that the 40 pages
No,
were
that makes
just
sense.
20 back to back, if you will.
Right, right. I was thinking printed because we're stuck between this world of some digital and some print. So I had that in my
Yeah.
head. Thank you.
And that's a good question because some people will submit, and in PDF you can preset when you open if you want to see 2 pages side by
Spaces.
side.
Yeah.
And
oh,
they take advantage of the entire horizontal page, but it's really 8.5 by 8.5
Mhm.
together.
Right.
So you can set it up that way.
okay.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to the PowerPoint. Felice, if there is anything else in there that would be helpful, and then we can share.
I think we just quickly wanted to show some of that celebration.
Okay. So the jury, this is the jury from last year. Can you see that? Okay, good.
Yeah.
And the awardees.
Yeah. But, since we were in a time of not being able to have a physical event, both the prior year and this year, the prior year, we actually made a visit, Janelle and I made a masked distance visit to each of the
Oh.
awardees and presented the award
Wonderful.
in person. Were things a little bit better last year? We had a tiny reception of just the awardees and jurors and us at the BSA, and had a photographer and did full presentation of the awards there.
Nice.
Great.
We had a
That's
little
great.
video of that we played digitally, virtually.
Mhm.
And so one was missing, so she photoshopped her in.
I love that.
I love it.
Yeah, so just to say that whatever happens this year, I will, we will definitely make a celebration. So,
Mhm. Yeah, so the rest of this PowerPoint is really each of the awardees giving their speech, and they are allowed about 10 minutes
Yep.
to give their speech. They are usually introduced by a juror with comments about, what was outstanding. And sometimes the jurors will call the awardee to learn more. So it really creates a network and a community because people really, get to know each other.
Yeah.
Any other questions before we share the actual example?
Not right now.
Not yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
This has
great.
been great.
now I get to do cut, right?
Yeah, this will conclude the portion that is recorded. And then I'm gonna stop the recording. Can I do that?